the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Our game tonight featuring the New York Knicks.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports. And we've got time.
Well, guys.
Yeah, some lean years in Brooklyn, partially as a result of that transaction. David, as always, thank you. Early on, just watching certain veteran players, Doris, continuing to play at a high level after so many years.
And what you love is the great ones seem to adjust their games along the way, and not only adjust their games, but add dimensions, whether it's being able to go down into the low post position, if you're a point guard, a two guard, or even a three-man. But the other part of this, Kevin, is the off-the-court stuff, the better nutrition that these guys are being much smarter about, the strength and conditioning programs they're putting themselves through in the offseason. All of that raises the level in the NBA.
So a look at our starters for the Knicks. They've got Robinson. J.J. Redick is out there at Bledsoe. Then it's Sabonis, and it's Leonard in at the small forward. Here's Bledsoe. That one's in, his first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 2.
This guy is just so physical for a point guard. Bledsoe loves to challenge the defense in close.
Conley against Bledsoe. Here's Jokic. Makes the most of the high percentage shot.
Listen, Kev, this guy, one of the more reliable scorers in the league, night in and night out.
Brown against Redick. Pass to Bledsoe. Off target with his three.
Boy, all sorts of space around him. If he can't hit those, the defense not going to worry too much about him.
And Randall throws it down.
Well, this guy is willing to make the extra pass. Barnes is not just a finisher, right? This guy's most efficient when he plays within the structure of the offense.
For three, Bledsoe. Knicks working now with a fresh shot clock. Sabonis, no good.
Boy, that's exactly how you have to play defense when he's driving the lane. You cannot give him any space.
And a good example there of why it's important to change ends quickly.
Well, that's how you attack in transition. Remarkable effort, getting as high percentage a look as you can really get.
Here's Bledsoe. Jokic grabs the miss.
As off as he's been this quarter, it's not helping them to trim the deficit.
And Nikola Jokic came late to the game. He actually grew up horse racing. Finally started playing organized hoops at the age of 16. You never know it, though one of the most skilled big men the league has to offer.
They get it back. Shot's good by Bledsoe. Bledsoe's got his second basket of the game.
Every now and then, though, Bledsoe sneaks in, gets one off the miss, uses his long arms to his full advantage.
Brown with it, now guarded by Redick. Back to Conley. Shoots over Leonard. Again, the Nets for two. And Jokic, Greg, said he was a fat point guard until he got taller.
Well, even now, Kevin, Jokic, not the most chiseled physique, but the point guard background makes sense. His playmaking for a center is off the chart.
Well, there's no consistency from the field in this quarter. We'll see if he can get his shot going.
Randall with the bucket. There's 49 seconds left to play here in the first. Bledsoe kicks to Robinson. Redick against Conley. Here's Leonard. No good that time. So Brooklyn will take it the other way. 3-on-3. Conley with a wide open look. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. Knicks trail by 8. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket. And hard to decide which was better, the pass, the catch, or the slam.
Oh, there's no wrong answer. Sensational alley-oop. Pass to Randall. Over Sabonis. And he got that one up in time, but doesn't go in. And so it's Brooklyn. With their lead standing at 6 points here at the end of the quarter, they're feeling very confident, shooting the ball with great efficiency and dictating the pace. We'll return shortly. It wasn't an immediate star turn for Mike Conley in the NBA. He talked about that journey.
The ups and downs of injuries.
Great work ethic is the key. Conley stayed at it.
And a player that's known for keeping his composure, that helps also. He weathered those early challenges and just stayed positive.
And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. And from Brooklyn guys, what jumps out to you stat-wise?
Through that first one, they've turned this thing into a track meet.
I'll tell you, they've simply been more assertive in the open floor. They're leaking out early, converting with confidence.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. And New York, looking at who they've got. Robinson is out there with Sabonis. Then there's Bledsoe. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. And it's Redick in at the two-guard spot.
And you got to love just how smart of a point guard Mike Conley is. You never get the sense he is forcing anything with the ball and keeps it moving around to his teammates. Very aware of his spacing and the spacing of others while running that offense.
The shot by Redick, no good.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the three. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession.
And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Randall. And Conley, who is so good with space and timing on offense, seems to always find a way to score inside.
I mean, he has that great floater to lean on for scoring. And the only thing you want from Conley is help. Has had a few too many injuries to ignore the last few seasons. This team is so visibly better when he is healthy and on the floor.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here, fresh from a win against the Nuggets.
And guys, they just got so many good looks in that one, and the defense never able to affect their offensive rhythm.
Well, I think the defense from the other team was simply porous. There's no other way to put it. So many openings, and they made them pay for it.
A minute and a half gone here in the second quarter. The shot's good from Nikola Jokic.
He's known as more steady than flashy, but that was a sensational pass by Conley. He can get fancy when he needs to.
Robinson with it. Now defended by Jokic. And here's Leonard from three. Knocks down the three ball. Leonard's got 5 points so far.
And that was a real quick comeback there. Both sides showing some range.
Well, both teams are pulling the trigger right now, showing great confidence from behind that arc.
Robinson against Jokic. Over in the corner, Barnes. 5 on the clock. Shoots over Leonard. Another one falls for Brooklyn. Doris, look in your crystal ball. 5 years from now, who do you think will be the 2-3 best players in the NBA?
Well, certainly some of the names. I won't say this is a definitive list, but as long as health holds, I'm going to give you 3 men who are going to be bad men in the NBA for a long time. Giannis Antetokounmpo, because the Greek freak is able at his size to handle it, take it off the window, and dominate action in transition. If he gets a consistent jump shot, forget about it. Ben Simmons, exactly the same thing. His passing ability is extraordinary. I think you'll see him get a low post game, and I think he'll get a jump shot, and he will be unguardable. And one of my absolute favorites is Mr. Joel Embiid. Give it to you inside, give it to you outside. Mr. Embiid can handle it. He can dominate with his defense. Those 3 men are going to be all-stars for a long, long time.
Bledsoe against Conley. Now here's Bledsoe. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Denver. Outside for Redick. New York moving the ball around. Randall against Bledsoe. Over Randall. Here's Robinson. Persistence pays off as they finally hit a shot. Robinson's got it back down to within single digits for New York. Conley scanning the floor. Over in the corner, Barnes. Over Leonard. And the last second attempt does not go in for him. And so it's Brooklyn in control with a 9-point lead to end the quarter. They've been playing some inspired defense, giving up very few easy.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Greetings, friends and neighbors. Brooklyn came out looking very confident. An exceptional game plan helped them open with a 12-4 run. They were hot as the first quarter came to a close, making all 5 of their last 5 shots of the period. Then in a hard-fought second quarter, they more than held their own, increasing their... And that's going to...
Welcome back as we get a beautiful aerial view of the Williamsburg Bridge connecting Manhattan and Brooklyn. And happy you could join us. We've got 2 quarters left to go in regulation. Nice game. Great performance by Julius Randle.
I mean, he was prolific in that first half. You know it's coming, but it's just so tough to stop.
And this is what he does, right, Greg? He's out there to score the basketball, and throughout that first half, he dominated.
We've got Brown. Jokic is out there with Julius Randle. Then it's Conley, and it's Barnes, and at the small forward position. So that's the lineup for Brooklyn.
Well, I think you think of the Brooklyn Nets, and though there isn't a ton of wins, I do think you see this team moving in the right direction. Yes, they only had 28 wins, finished 12th overall, but the reality is, on a night-by-night basis, this team gives great effort in the face of adversity.
And the Nets' win total last year impressive given the injuries.
Well, Jeremy Lin and D'Angelo Russell's injuries obviously made things difficult, Kevin. But despite it all, the Nets were more competitive than they've been the last few seasons. To me, this is an organization that has some things it can build on.
And he knocks down the first one.
And the soft-spoken Leonard is now an elite talent in this league, an athletic forward who leads by example.
One big problem for the Knicks last season, Doris, the offense was okay, but the defense let them down.
Right, and the one area that was a strength was shot blocking. But a good defense requires far more than that. It requires quickness, it requires on-point rotations. Their defensive rating ended up being in the bottom 10 last year, Kevin.
And that dunk reverberated throughout this entire building.
It sure did. Up high and down hard on the windmill flood. Robinson finds Redick. Outside for Robinson. Outside Leonard. Plenty of room to knock down the shot. Leonard's got 4 this quarter. And so Conley will bring the ball up for the Nets. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. Up next for them, the Grizzlies at the FedEx Forum. That will be a getaway game for them, a 1-game road trip.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. And now that that final debt, Doris, has been paid, it must feel like a huge relief for Nets fans to be done with that trade they made with Boston.
Well, you hate to say it, but trading for KG, Pierce, and Terry back in 2013 turned out to be a disaster for the Nets. Probably set the organization back a good 5 years. They must be thrilled to be out from under the weight of that mistake.
Count that one, and the Nets lead has been cut to just 9 on the basket from Bledsoe.
Well, one of the more fearless point guards we have in amongst traffic, Bledsoe making his presence felt.
Conley with the 3. Robinson pulls it in.
They tried to stay perfect in the half, but 3 for 4 now.
Redick against Brown. Redick surveying the D. A 3 ball. The shot comes out. The Nets go the other way with it. Brown dishes to Randle, and Randle throws it down.
I think Brown demonstrating he's got a great understanding of the game. He keeps his head moving, his eyes open so he can spot the open man.
The Nets shooting their first free throw of the game right now. More and more, we're hearing the term positionless basketball, Doris, but it's not an entirely new concept. I remember Jerry West, for example, talking about it a couple decades ago.
Well, I think Jerry West talking about it is about there are certain guys historically who could play in any era. Jerry West would be there. Rick Barry would be another one. So certainly this has been a topic discussed in the past. I think why it's so important in today's day and age, the NBA has become a switch-heavy league, and that's on the defensive end. And therefore, teams like Boston and others are building their roster around guys who are switchable and versatile. It's become an almost necessity in today's NBA.
Great perspective. The Nets shooting their second and third free throws tonight. And the first one drops. Doris, one thing the Knicks did really well last season, protect the rim.
Well, you think about the New York Knicks over the past 3 years. They have been top 10 in block shots in each of those three. They have been one of the taller teams in the league. Perimeter defense has been the bigger issue for the New York Knicks.
Randall against Leonard. Over Randall. No good off the back of the rim.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger.
On the wing, Barnes. He's covered by Leonard. Brown the pass to Jokic. Good. Jokic just got his third basket of the night right there.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Bledsoe with 8 points for him. He kicks to Leonard. Over Barnes. That is good. And the Nets' lead is cut down to 11 on the bucket from Leonard.
I think everyone expecting Bledsoe to perhaps force the issue, but he keeps his poise and finds the open man.
And so it's Brooklyn. And it's time to bring up the State Farm assist of the game.
Just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
We call that, Greg, putting it right in the pocket, and he knew what to do with it once it was there.
And as we head into the fourth, we'll see if there's a comeback in the works or if it's more of the same from the first three quarters. Setting the floor for the Knicks. Sabonis is out there with Robinson. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. Then there's J.J. Redick. And it's Bledsoe in at the point guard position.
Their three-point percentage has taken a big leap here in this second half.
Conley kicks to Jokic. Over in the corner, Brown. That's in there. Conley with the assist. Conley's got his third assist on the night.
Well, to me, that's excellent timing from Jaylen Brown. He shoots with confidence, knowing his teammates trust him.
Back to Bledsoe. Leonard on the wing. Over Barnes. It'll go, and the Nets lead is cut down now to just 8 on the basket from Kawhi Leonard.
And after an abysmal first half from the field, the shots now starting to fall.
Conley finds Randall. Barnes against Leonard, and the foul on Eric Bledsoe. That is his first foul of the game. Now, Jokic. Lock at 6. It's Brown with the drive. Another one falls for Brooklyn.
Well, don't you love the way Jaylen Brown is squaring up in the mid-range? This guy's getting his feet under him. His pre-shot preparation outstanding.
New York calls timeout.
Yeah, and the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Well, I think they've got to ramp up the pressure. There's no excuse for letting them score at will in the paint. Make them feel you.
And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Kevin, during that last break, I heard David Fizdale talking to his team. With them getting outshot from the perimeter, he told them, we have got to defend the three-point line. Those threes are destroying us. We'll see if they can tighten it up, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Over in the corner, Randall. Barnes outside. On the wing, Brown. Covered by Reddick. Here's Jokic. Sabonis grabs the board. Sabonis has got 6 rebounds in the game. Reddick passes to Sabonis. Outside for Bledsoe. Leonard against Barnes. Sabonis. Makes it off the glass. Sabonis has got it back down to single digits for the Knicks.
This guy's a skilled interior scorer. There's height, there's great shot selection. Sabonis doing work right now.
Robinson against Jokic. Looking for Conley. He gets it there. Hand contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. It goes on Eric Bledsoe. First free throw is good, and that will put them up by 9.
Yeah, former 4th overall draft pick. Conley took a while to develop physically, but the mental parts have always been there.
Barnes against Leonard. Bledsoe. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
No question he got bumped on that shot.
He hits the first one, and that brings them within single digits.
Well, think about this. Recruited as a point guard out of high school, but Bledsoe has to move to the 2 at Kentucky because the backcourt mate was John Wall. And what a backcourt that was.
And here's Brown. He'll bring it up for the Brooklyn Nets. There's a minute left in the 4th quarter of this one, and it's good. 2 points. And the Nets lead by 10.
And it looks like just playing the last bit of this one out in what should be a nice win here for Brooklyn.
This was a very efficient offense tonight.
And they found a way to get their shots to go down. A little luck didn't hurt. A lot of their 50-50 shots fell their way.
And it'll mark their 4th win on the year. Actually, their 5th win on the year. And what a tremendous standout performance it was for Julius Randle.
Boy, forget about his stats for a second, right? What impressed me most was his stamina. It seemed like he was involved in every play. And with that kind of activity, I don't know how you don't wear down.
Passes it to Brown. Now here's Conley. Wants to get it to Barnes and does. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Out of bounds. New York takes possession. Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They're down by 8. We've got 28 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Julius Randle.
And his focus, guys, has been laser sharp, and his touch from the field, flawless. The teammates have worked hard to get him the ball in some good positions, and boy, has he rewarded them with a spectacular shooting performance. Great call to keep running all those sets for him.
This is as good a game as we've seen him play, and this crowd can't get enough of it. When he explodes like this, it becomes a special atmosphere in here. Outside Leonard. Fires from deep. The shot by Reddick, no good. Here is Conley. So it's the Nets picking up the win. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. And once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
And a chance. All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that's going to do it tonight, folks.
losing features, splitting it with my gas. Sticking to the G code and see nothing wrong in my eyes. I look the